going to go ahead and get started. This is a tutorial on how to create a lead magnet for your website. And this is a downloadable lead magnet. This would be something that you would offer a website visitor like a recipe book or a checklist or some kind of a cheat sheet that they can use, some kind of digital product, or not product, but just like a digital download, something that they can get like an ebook or anything like that. Any of these types of things work as a lead magnet for your website. And this is a great way to build your list and really start generating leads for your business, right? So the main focus of a lead magnet is to attract people who are going to be potential clients for you. So you want them to be people who are interested in the type of things that you teach in your paid program. So your lead magnet should really do a good job of qualifying potential clients for you, right? So it should really be a logical progression from the lead magnet, something that they're interested in learning about. They find out that there's more to this than meets the eye. They want, the next step. They want to work with you. Then you kind of nurture them and you funnel them into a paid program. So this would be something you would use to capture the attention of your web traffic, your social media followers. Will see it in your bio. Excuse me. So this is a great place to just start introducing yourself and providing value to potential clients. I'm going to get right into it. The first thing that you'll need to do, and I recommend having all of these things handy and ready to go when you are ready to create your lead magnet. So you'll need to know a couple of things. You're going to have the document that you will be uploading as your downloadable lead magnet. This could be a PDF, like an ebook or a recipe book or something like that. It could be, it could be different formats, but we're going to focus on something you'll download as a document, and I'm going to show you specifically how to do this with a recipe book. So have your recipe book ready to go in PDF form. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit behind the scenes of how I I add my branding to a recipe book, and I'm going to show you an example with a client of mine and the free recipe book that she used, for her website. So let's go ahead and get started. The other thing you're also going to need, I think I just jumped through my checklist here, have the document that you're going to want to use as a download. Know where you're going to be hosting it, right? Because if it's going to be a download, it means it needs to live on the internet somewhere. So if you use Kartra, which is a all-in-one marketing and sales platform, it's what I use for my business. It's what I recommend for my clients to use. You have a place to host your files in Kartra. You also could use something like Amazon. You could use, if you have a WordPress site, you can use the media library there. You just need something that's going to give you a URL, a download that they can use to access the document once it's uploaded. So you're going to have all the components of your document. You're going to upload it to the site. You're going to embed this probably in one of two places, probably in two places. And either or. You can put it on the confirmation page for your lead magnet, and you're also going to put it in an email as a downloadable link, an embeddable link. So go ahead and think about where you're going to, if you're going to offer this as a, sorry, zoned out there. If you're going to put this on your confirmation page for your lead magnet, and if you're also going to put it in an email. Now, the other thing you should think about is pages. So we're talking about landing pages and confirmation pages, and what are you using to host these pages? Where are you creating these pages? Now, there are services such as lead pages, where all I do is pages. If you have WordPress, you can use pages from your your WordPress site, which is fine. You just need to figure out some kind of automation to connect, you know, your form and all these other redirects and things like that, which you can sometimes do through your email service provider. Again, I use Kartra. It's an all-in-one. Everything is in one place. Everything talks to each other. It's easy to use. That's what I recommend that you use. And then it's just all, you just have one system where everything lives. So we'll have our downloadable file. We'll have our pages. And then once somebody downloads your lead magnet, then you'll be in the process of kind of welcoming them to your brand, to nurturing them as potential clients. But we're going to focus mostly on creating this lead magnet and putting it somewhere that your traffic can access it. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I do the branding for my lead magnet for this recipe book. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to go into this. Now, what I want to show you is this right here. So I couldn't find the screen I want to. So this is what it's going to end up looking like. Oh, not that. Not that. It's going to look, let me get this. It's going to end up looking like this. So when somebody downloads it, and I'm going to use Sharon's recipe book as a sample, this is what they're going to download. Now you can see it's got her logo right on the front. And we've got a little description here. It's got a picture of her. It's got some about information, how they can follow up with her, how they can contact her. Okay, and then we get into the recipes here that are available. And this is Sharon's recipe book for her website. So let's go back to how we create this image right here. So what I like to do, and I also want to show you, so what happens is that page, that first page with her logo, we are going to create, this is an image that I like to put on the landing page for the lead magnet. So this is an image that I'll show because people like to see what they're signing up for, and this is a great, really visually interesting demonstration of, like, or illustration rather, of what they're going to get for this lead magnet. So what I like to do is I'll take the first page, and then I'll kind of fan out some pages behind it. And the way that I do this is I go into PowerPoint. Let me hop on over to PowerPoint, and I'll show you how I do this. You could do this in Canva. I like to do it in PowerPoint. I think it's just easier. I know not everybody has PowerPoint, but if you do, it's really handy. So I come over here. The first thing that I do is I take my lead magnet recipe book and I take screenshots of the pages because that's what I'm going to use to fan out. So I'll go in here and I'm going to upload my screenshots of the pages from my recipe book. No, I don't want that. And I have a file that's screenshots. Let's see. And these are the pictures right here that I want. I'm just going to take a handful of these. Let's see. Which ones do I want? All right, I want this one, this one, this, and this. And I'm just going to take one more, drag them over into PowerPoint. Oh, I can actually, I'll just hit insert. And now we've got all our pictures. Now they're all highlighted, and I want to make them a little smaller so I can work with them. So I'm just going to make them all smaller so they're easier to manage. Now we've got our things here. Now while I have them all here, I'm just going to apply the same special effects to each page while I have them all highlighted so it's uniform. The first thing I want to do is create an outline, because as you can see, these pages don't have an outline. They seem to go on forever. So let's add an outline. I'm going to do Command A. I'm on a Mac. So Command A to select them all. And then I want to go up to Picture Border. And I select the color. I do a dark gray, and I do a very light, no more than a point outline. So now you can just see, we see where the page ends. That one's a little bit bigger. That one's smaller. That's okay. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some shading. So it makes it kind of look, or shadowing rather, so that it looks like it's 3D. So I take this and I go to Picture Effects. Again, I highlighted all the pictures. And I'm going to add a shadow. And I'm going to do like, I'm going to pick this one. Now this is a really small shadow, so I want to adjust those. So I go into Picture Effects. Here again, they're still all selected. And what I do is I go into Shadow Options. Now you can see here, these are the shadow settings. I like to increase the distance. Now we make this big, it gets big. I don't want it to be overwhelming. And let's see what angle. I kind of want it off to the side. I like it over here, kind of up and to the side. And then the color, I like to do a dark gray. I think black might be too dark. And maybe increase the blur so that's not like a really sharp corner. We're kind of blurring that a little bit. Okay, now that we've applied our shadow to the pages, we're going to fan them out. Now what I like to do here is I do this, 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 oops, this, okay. And this one is actually, okay. So now, and I want to make sure that I take this, my cover page, and I move that to the front. So I want to arrange, and I have selected the cover page, and I say bring it to the front, and here it is, because I want this to be right front and center, and I might move these over and kind of bring them in. And now what I'm going to do is after I fan them out, I'm going to bring this down a little bit so I have more room to work. Bring these over. And right here. Now, what I do from here is select the picture, and you can see there's a little circle here. When I hover over it, I get this little curly arrow. Now, if I click on that and I drag it around, I can turn the page, I can turn this around and put it at an angle. I like to do this, and I'll do like this. And then I just kind of fan them out so it looks like they're all kind of just laying in the background here. I'm going to move this one here and move this up here so that I can get more images, more pictures of food. Bring it to the front. Like we know these are recipes, so I didn't really want it there. Okay, so now I've got, oops, I actually want to bring this one, bring forward. I want that one to be on top of this. This one I want all the way in the back. And then I just kind of fan them out. And I'll just angle this one a little bit here. Move this out, make it a little bigger. I think it's a little smaller than the rest. And you can make this look however you would like it to look. I mean, I wouldn't agonize over this too much because people are just going to see it and they're going to click on it. And if they want recipes, you know, you can list some of them on the landing page, but you know, it's just you'll be adding the description of it, what kind of recipes, what are the benefits of having recipes handy, healthy, gluten-free, whatever the, you know, description of the recipes is. I'm going to bring this forward one more so it's in front of there. Now, bring this down a little bit so the shadow's in here. So now that I've created my fanned out recipe image, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. I mean, I tell you guys not to do this, but I'm going to keep doing this. Okay. So now I'm going to save this as a picture and just the recipes. I don't want the background. So this will enable me to have a transparent background. So I'm going to do Command A to select all the pictures. And then I do a right click. And I always forget what it is on a Mac. Okay. And I'm going to do Save as a Picture. And I'm going to just call it Recipe Fan. And I'm just going to save it as a PNG. And then I download it. And then I have it in my computer. So now I will save this. Oops, just kidding. Save this as Recipe Fan. If I can save this image for later if I want to. And then I'll close PowerPoint because I'm all done with that. Okay. So now I'm going to go. Oop, who's here? Renee's here. Hi, Renee. How's it going? So I'm just doing my demo for sorry, I'm just checking the chat box because I've been working in PowerPoint. Just checking it now. If you have any questions, please feel free to, you know, comment, question. I'll try to keep an eye on the chat box while I'm doing this because I'm kind of going through screens. If I don't see it, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just working in, you know, the tech behind the scenes. So now we have our picture, our recipe fan that we're all set with. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to add the branding. So I've uploaded this into Canva. I've created an image. And now all I need to do is take my logo and, oops, there's two logos, and add it to the blank space that's right here. And we're good. So now this looks like it's a branded recipe book that I can put on my website and have people download and get their email address. So then from here, I'm just going to download this and again, save it as you want to save this as a PNG. And you will download that to your, am I sharing my screen? I'm not even sharing my screen. Bobby, yes, I know. Bobby, I just realized I wasn't sharing my screen. I'll do it again. Bobby, so to the commands to save without a background. So it was Command A to select everything because in PowerPoint, so those recipes were all individual images on the screen. So I wanted to save them all as a picture. So what you would do is Command A, select all, Control A if you're on a PC. Control A, right click, and then you choose Save as a Picture. And that only saves the pictures without the background. And then you'll have it saved on your computer, and then you can add it to a a document, put it on your website, use it anywhere you want, and now you have it without the background. So let me just share my screen. I didn't realize I wasn't sharing. I always do that. God bless America. Okay, so now we're going to go into Canva, and I'll redo this because if you can see this, yes. Okay, so now we take this, we go into Canva and go to Uploads. You're going to upload an image, find that PNG that we just saved, or the picture that we just saved, and you're going to upload it into Canva. Now, so it'll look like this. You'll also want to upload your logo with either a transparent background or it really, I mean, ideally it's a transparent background. And you're just going to center it right over this empty spot here. And then you will go ahead and we'll say branded recipe fan, and then you'll download it as a PNG. Okay, so now part 2 is adding this image to the adding this to your landing page. So we have 2 components here. So we have this image that we're going to be using on the landing page, and then the other part is going to be actually updating our lead magnet recipe book. So let me hop on over there, and I'm going to stop sharing. And now we're going to open. Actually, I think I have it open here. Okay, it is her recipe book. So this is what it ends up looking like. Okay, so our document that we're going to be, here's where it's helpful to have that logo again. So when I offer this as a free lead magnet opt-in for some of my products to use with like the website. And what you'll do is when you get this, you'll get it as a copy of a Google Slides. It's like a slideshow presentation, and the recipe book is actually set up in here. All you need to do once you get this is you can go in and add your branding. So all you'll need to do is add your logo right here, again with transparent background. And really the most important thing is going to be this is like your about page. And this is where you can introduce your clients to your brand, your business, why you became a health coach, why health coaching is important to you, what kind of programs you have. But you're doing it really as very subtly in a welcome message. You're not trying to overwhelm them with like a ton of information, because look, they just wanted a recipe book. They didn't ask for your life story. Just give them what they came for, and then you can always follow up with them after. And I recommend having a welcome and a nurture sequence that you send to subscribers after they get your lead magnet. So this page right here, I even put a little thing here to be like, hey, add your own picture. All you'll need to do here is just delete this and then insert your own picture from your computer. I recommend having, a professional headshot if you have one. If you don't, get some. These are not really expensive. You don't have to go and pay like a lot of money to get professional headshots, but please make sure it's a professional picture. It can be a casual picture. It can be like something from an event. It doesn't have to be a sit down in a studio professional picture, but please know in the car selfies or things like that. It needs to portray you. You need to be portrayed in a professional manner, okay? Highly recommend this. Now, when you're filling out this About You section, I put in a couple of little blanks here, your name, put in your title, talk about why you became a health coach, why it's important, what you help your clients do, how this recipe book will help them get some results. It's going to save them time, it's going to save them money because they're not wasting food. They're going to feel better, they're going to have more energy. And if you've personally tried any of these recipes, that's helpful too. You can share that. Okay, so once this is done and you've updated it, we're going to pretend we updated this information. Also, make sure you're putting in the URL to your website so that they can click on it and they can see. So just to show you Sharon's, this is what Sharon's looks like. She put in her picture and she updated with her URL and her email address. And these are clickable links. Okay, you want to make sure that you're hyperlinking. So just to recap, if somebody's not really sure how to hyperlink, let me go back into, oh, that's not it. Here it is. Too many tabs. Okay, so if you're not sure how to hyperlink, all we're going to do is type www.yoururl.com. I'll do my own just for demonstration here. All this does is make it so that when somebody clicks on a link, it takes them to that website. So we're going to highlight the text that we want to hyperlink, and you'll see this icon right here. It's like a little chain link, and it says Insert Link. We're going to click on it, and we'll get a little pop-up. Oh, actually, this is great. Google automatically hyperlinks whatever it says. That's nice. Okay. So it automatically knew I wanted it to say that. Now, if we did something else, let's see if I can update this with something else. Okay, so if I highlight it again and I click on, maybe it's not directly at my website I want them to go, I can always update this to more recipes and send them somewhere else if they want to see more recipes. Okay, and that's all that requires from that. Now, once you've done this, you've updated your Google Doc and your Google Slides, rather, you've got your recipe all set. You're going to check it for any other things that you want to add to it. Maybe you put your URL on other pages, update pictures, whatever you want to do. Once you're done with that, you're going to go to File, and you're going to say Download as a PDF. Okay? So once you get that document downloaded to your machine, this is when you need to go in and you need to upload this to wherever they're going to download it from. So we need to host the document somewhere. So let's go. I host everything in Kartra. Again, you can do this if you have a WordPress site. You can put it on WordPress Media Library. You can use something like Amazon, like AWS, which is another service. I put everything in Kartra because then I can also track how many downloads. I can see the analytics of all the files that I have uploaded that I use as lead magnets. So I can see how many people are actually downloading the files that I'm offering them for free. Now, to upload this in Kartra, I go into My Memberships, and I go into Files. And with Kartra, everything starts with the green button. I go to Upload. I'll leave it here. I click Upload File. And this is something I just downloaded, so it's going to be, actually I didn't actually do it, but we'll pretend I did. I'll upload something else because I don't have that, and then all I do is I click Next. It uploads the file, and here's what's key. Once I upload something, I need to know its URL. I need to know where it lives on the internet. So I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to copy it because I'm going to need this in two places when I create my lead magnet landing page and my confirmation page and the welcome message and all that stuff. So I need to know what this URL is. So I'm going to copy this and maybe put it in a notepad or something so I have it handy. Okay, so now I've got the actual downloadable file created. I downloaded it. I have it on my local machine. I've also uploaded it to my Kartra site. So I have it hosted. I have the URL. Now I can get into the meat of actually creating the lead magnet landing page and the confirmation page in the form and delivering it to anybody who logs in. I mean, who signs up for it, who opts in is what I was trying to say. Okay, so now we'll go over to Kartra. And the lead magnet process is made up of four pieces really. We have our landing page. We have our confirmation page. We have the form that they're going to fill in with their email address, which is going to be embedded in the landing page, and it's going to be what actually drives the process of delivering the lead magnet, but I'm going to walk you through this. But I'm going to start with the confirmation page. I'm going to start at the end and work my way backwards. Now I already have them created, but I'm going to show you, and Renee, maybe this will be helpful for you because I know you said you struggled a little bit with Kartra, but I'm going to show, let's see, confirmation. We'll use this one. This is a sample confirmation page that I use. And this is what they're going to see after they opt in. I know you guys are like, show me it in the process, but we'll walk through it when it's done. But I need the confirmation page created in order to create the form or the landing page part. So it's good to have this done ahead of time. So this is the page they see afterwards. I say, you know, great news, your free gift is on its way. You can say anything here, really just letting them know. You're giving them confirmation that their email address was accepted and what they should expect next, like what comes next, where's my lead magnet, how do I get my hands on it? Now I give them a couple of instructions because I can add a button here that's, you know, to download it. So I could do a, I can add a button here that just says down, like I could give it to them on this page and go like this. Also, download your recipe book here. Oh, actually, let's make it like this. And just make it look a little bit pretty. And that's not going to be pretty. Let's see. That's okay. And is there anything else here? Okay, now what happens when they click on this link? They're going to download a file. Now because Kartra is connected, you know, it connects the pages, it connects the files, everything is interconnected, it's all in one place. I can do this. I can just say, hey, download a file. I go down here to categories and I can say, all my categories here, I'm gonna say nothing. This is a list of, and this is the item that I just uploaded. But if I really wanted to do, I'm sure I have a recipe guide in here somewhere, but the point is it's available from a list of documents that I keep in Kartra, and it knows and it can show it to me, and I don't have to know the URL for this part. I have to know it for the other one, but this one is really easy. I can just select it from a drop-down, click apply, and even if I hadn't already uploaded it, I can do it right here. I can do it on the fly. That's kind of handy, right? So if I was in a hurry and I didn't want to do that extra step, I could just do it right now. But we did it. So I'm going to close that out. Now, here's what's really important about your landing page, your confirmation page rather. So email deliverability is, was I not showing my screen? Was I not sharing my screen just now? Was anybody watching? I feel like I was. Maybe I wasn't. Anyway, what I did was I added this button to my confirmation page. And linked the page that I uploaded right here. Nope, I mean, I am notorious. You guys, you have to tell me when I'm not sharing my screen because I'm just so in my own world over here. Okay, so let me back up. I'll go back. I'll start over. Okay, so in Kartra, all my pages are here. And I can, I know, God bless me, right? So all my pages are in here, my landing pages, confirmation pages, sales pages. So I have a sample sales page that I use for all my opt-ins. And this is basically just a template. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to edit it. You can create them from scratch, but I like to use templates because it saves me a lot of time. Now, as this pops up, I'll close that out. I don't need that. I don't need that. So this is what the confirmation page is going to look like. You can say, you know, just tell them what to expect or what to do next. It tells them your information was accepted, you're on my list, you're going to get a free thing. You can either deliver it here and in an email or just in an email, but just let them know your free gift is on its way to your inbox. This is why this is important. It's really important for them to open your email, because this tells their email provider that you are a safe sender. The more they open emails from you, the more their email knows to put your emails in a place where they will read them. The less likely you are to go to spam, the less likely you are to go to promotions tab. Think of it like if you email a friend all the time, their email is going to know, oh, hey, this is their friend. I need to put they read their emails all the time. I need to put it somewhere where they're going to see it. Email service providers are getting really smart. They have these algorithms. They know, safe senders. You also can tell them to what's called whitelist your email address, which just means adding your email address to their list of safe senders in their contacts. So just adding your email address to their contact list will increase the likelihood that they will see your emails. So I just do a quick 1, 2, 3, check your email, look for an email from me at lauriemallon.com. And then I tell them if it's not there, check your promotions tab or your spam folder, because sometimes that does happen. And then I tell them to read what I sent them. Here's how you get it. You're going to click the link in the email. You're going to download the recipe book. You're going to use them. You're going to enjoy them. Because think about it, the lead magnet is the first step in your sales funnel. And if they're not consuming that first step, if they're not, reading the About You page, if they're not consuming the value that you give to them, then it's going to be really hard for you to nurture them past that point into the point of getting into a program. So having that first step, getting them to open your lead magnet, is really important. And on that note, I would say go to the trouble of setting up an automation in your email that says, hey, if they don't open this email, resend it a day later with a reminder that says, hey, I just wanted to make sure you saw this, that I sent it to you. And it kind of like, I don't know about you, but I get like 100 emails a day. It's ridiculous. And often things come in and I miss them. So if I opted in for a recipe book and then went on and started doing other things, I might have even forgotten that I opted in for it. So a reminder is nice. I think it's helpful. So from here, you also want them to reply to your email, because again, that tells the email service, hey, this is somebody she wants to talk to. It boosts your deliverability in their inbox, okay? You would put your logo here just for brand awareness, put your copyright here, a copy of your privacy policy is helpful. And what I did, that you guys didn't see me do, was add a button so that they can just download that recipe book right from here. Now, Renee, I know you said you had a little bit of trouble with Kartra. Was it what specifically did you have trouble with Kartra? Was it page building? Was it setting up a lead magnet? Like, what was the sticky point with Kartra that you just were like, I can't even, and you ran away screaming? I'm curious to know what it was that tripped you up. Okay, so I'm going to add this button, and I'm just going to say, actually, I don't want it to be. We'll do more like purple. And then make it a little prettier here. We'll add some text. We'll say, click here to download the recipe book. And now here's where I can directly link that file that I just uploaded. So we'll go in here and I'll say download a file. Now Kartra can look kind of like in a little library, and I'll say, all right, what files do we have to pull from? I think it's in here. Okay, so right here, I'll say this is the one that I just uploaded. And then we Even if I hadn't already uploaded it, I could do it here by clicking upload a new file. And then you just hit apply and do that. Okay. And once you're done and it looks the way you want it to look, oh, I also recommend, excuse me, excuse me, putting a link to your Facebook group on the confirmation page. Because, I mean, you don't want it to be too busy, right? There's a lot of stuff going on here, but making sure they download the recipe book and also get them in your Facebook group, right? Because that Facebook group is your opportunity to start building a relationship and having a conversation with them as a potential client. Having them on the email is great because then you can talk to them whenever you want, but getting them in the Facebook group means that they can talk to you, you can talk to them, and they can really start to see you, hear you, especially if you're doing lives. They really start to build trust with you. Renee says, it hated me, all of it, couldn't set up a landing page, upload my group coaching program. Okay, Renee, I have some good news for you. I'm going to be doing a full Kartra, well, it's going to be just a training on setting up a sales funnel. I'm going to be doing it in Kartra. So if you wanted to see, if you were interested in giving it another shot, I'm going to be doing like this, a tutorial walking through every single step, how to set up a lead magnet, how to set up a challenge, how to set up your group coaching program, how to add a membership site, how to do a help desk, how to set up a calendar. It's all going to be in this training program that I'm doing, that I'm going to be offering it for free. It's going to be a free e-course just for everybody to learn, because you are not the first person to say this. Like, I know so many people have struggled with Kartra just because there's a learning curve. Once you get the hang of it, it's easy, but getting to that point can take a minute. And if you don't have a lot of time, energy, or patience, maybe it can really be overwhelming and frustrating. But keep an eye out for that. It should be starting next week, and that might be helpful for you. Okay, so now we've got our confirmation page. We're going to publish it live so that the internet knows where it is. And we'll go ahead and close that, and we'll go back to our dashboard. Now we're going to do our landing page. So let's see. Landing page, template. Let's do something like this. So you guys might have seen this if you have signed up for my free social media posts. And this is a pretty basic, no frills landing page sign up form. But I'll walk through all the different pieces and what you need to include. And we'll put it right in here. Okay, so the first thing you want to have on your landing page is some kind of headline that speaks to a pain point. So for this one specifically, I'm talking to you guys. And I'm saying, hey, are you tired of creating social media posts for your health and wellness business? And you're like, heck yeah, what can I do? And then I give you, here's a solution that I've created for you. Now what we'll do here is I'm actually going to, let's do this. I'm not going to save these changes, but I'll just show you. So now what we can do, if we want to change this text, actually, you know what? I changed my mind. I don't want to mess with this. I'm going to make a copy of this and do that. And this is what I like about Kartra, is because I can have templates, and now I never have to create anything from scratch, and I just take something that's already existing, I update some text, I update some pictures, I change the form, and bada bing, bada boom, up and running, and I can create a new lead magnet. This is taking a lot longer than it does in real life just because I'm walking through all the steps, but I could have a new lead magnet up in like 20 minutes if I, from top to bottom, landing page to form to email, everything, 20 minutes. Okay, so I would say something like, looking for healthy recipes. That's not exactly captivating, but that's okay. All right, and I'm going to say get my free recipe guide. And I'm going to say save time and money each week. These are just some benefits of downloading whatever this is that I'm giving them. Why would they want to do it? I'm giving them some ideas right here. So now I'm going to swap out this picture for the one that I created with the recipe book with the fanned images. So now I'm going to go in, and you can see this is kind of like my favorite style of like fanning the images, and I wonder if I even have one in here. I might not even have one. Okay, we're going to upload one. Okay. I don't have one handy. I'll just use what I have here, which is the same style, but it's the same picture. But I'm just showing you. It's easy to upload. You go in here, select the new image, confirm it, hit apply, and again, this looks the same, but trust me, I just uploaded something different. So what we can do here with this picture, we can resize it. We can make it smaller. We can make it, I'll make a little bit here. We can edit the style of it. We can, or where the alignment, we can add some padding, some margins to it. We can actually have a link from this button. Like we could make this kind of like a button, like click here to get something. And these are all the options for them if they click on this photo. We can also do some fun like effects. I don't go too crazy with this because too much stuff makes it busy and then people kind of get weirded out. But I like to do slide in from the side, which is kind of fun. Let's see. We'll do slide in from the left. And okay, so we got our couple of things. I like to add bullets to my landing pages because people are visually attracted. If they see a wall of text, they're going to check out. They're not going to engage, right? Now, if they see bullets, it draws them in. They want to read that. Okay, so I do that. Now I want to add the form, right? So the form gives them, this is what links, this is what drives the car, okay? So from here, actually I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to show you how to create a form. But just to go over the rest of the landing page, I'll put some more benefits down here in case they scroll all the way to the bottom. Some people will just go, they see this, they hit send it to me, they're done. I do a little about me section in case somebody is like, who is this? Why is she sending this to me? Who does she think she is to send me recipes? What does she know about eating healthy? So a little picture and then a little about me section to tell people what I'm about. This is really important. Anytime you're asking somebody for an email address, you need a link to your privacy policy for your website. This is a legal requirement, and I cannot stress enough how important it is to comply with, privacy laws and things like that when you have an online business, okay? So linking to your privacy policy, and if you don't have a privacy policy for your website, please get one, and link to it at the bottom of the page. Now we've done this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. Again, we're going to publish live, save it, let the internet know it's here. But I'm going to come back because I want to create the form that goes inside the page. So in Kartra, we have a section just for forms. Now, let's see. I'm just going to clone one of these and start over. Again, I like to just clone things and it saves me some time because it's like a template that I don't have to keep recreating the wheel. Highly recommend you do this in your business, especially online. It's going to save you a lot of time and aggravation. So this first menu, so with Kartra, if you notice, everything has a step-by-step menu that walks you through how to do everything. It does it in emails, it does it in setting up your membership, creating a calendar or a help desk. It walks you through, and it even tells you what each section is going to be about. So this first option, we're talking about the form fields. What is it that we want to ask people to enter when they are coming to the page, and in order to get this lead magnet, what do they have to give me? Well, statistically, the more you ask for, the less likely they are to hand it over. So I like to keep this as minimal as possible. I only do first name and email address. I could just do email address, but I like to have a first name because I like to personalize my emails when I send them out. So I'll ask for first name and I'll ask for email address. If I wanted to add something else, I would just click this new field button and I could pick anything from down here. All of these things. You can also do custom fields if you want to get fancy, but really first name and email address are sufficient. I click save and that takes me to the next step. I click save and that enables this button, which means I can now go to the next step. Now this is where we are going to tell it, do I want to do a single opt-in or a double opt-in? I always choose a single opt-in. It used to be really popular to do a double opt-in to avoid spam on your list. Honestly, I think that second step does deter a lot of people from actually getting on your list, and the likelihood that you'll get spam on your list is not high. So I stick with a single opt-in and I click save. Now from here, this is a success page, which is our confirmation page. Remember, that was the first thing that we did. So this is where we link it up. Now we have the option to either link it to an external page. So if I had a WordPress site and I had pages that were over there that I didn't want to like recreate in Kartra, I could just link from here whatever the URL is. Okay, but I'm going to use a Kartra page, and I can't remember what I called it. I think it was the opt-in thank you. And then I click save, and now all you see the save and next button is enabled. So I'll go to the next one. This is where sending a welcome message. This is where I actually deliver the PDF that they opted in for. So we'll go to, when you first get here, it'll say, you'll have the option of send an email, don't send an email. Once you say send an email, it's going to ask you, where do you want to send it from? What's the name you want to put on the email so that they know they can identify you in their inbox. And we're going to click save. And we're going to go to the welcome message. Now, this is where you're going to send that email that is going to deliver your PDF. So I highly recommend having a subject line that is enticing, and it's going to remind them, hey, you signed up for this. Here's your free thing. You asked me for this, right? Because you don't want people to ignore your email thinking it's just some kind of like spam or promotion. They asked for this. They wanted this. You want to make sure they see it and they get it. So you could do something like, I like to put emojis in the subject line, because if you notice, if you open your email inbox and you kind of look through all the emails that you have, the ones with emojis pop out, especially colorful emojis. And what I do to get emojis is I use a website called emojicopy.com, and it just has a huge library of emojis that you can then just copy and paste and put into your emails. So you would say something like, free recipe book, and then you could say it's here. Okay, now to personalize your emails in Kartra, we have what's called dynamic variables, and I'm able to pull this because they entered their first name in the form on the landing page. Now, if I didn't have that field, I wouldn't be able to personalize it. I wouldn't be able to say, hey, Laurie, here's your recipe book that you asked for, right? Because an email is always going to sound nicer. Then, don't just say, hey, here it is. Hey, Laurie. Everybody likes to hear and see their name in their own email. So I always put first name here, or I'll say, hey, first name, thanks for downloading your recipe book. Now you have an option here. You can either hyperlink it like this is, and all that is required there is typing the text, highlighting it, clicking that little link icon, and then typing in whatever the URL is. Of course, now I don't have it handy. Here it is. Putting the URL, remember when we uploaded it, we uploaded the file into Kartra, it gave us a URL with, so they could access it. And that's what we're going to paste in here. And for target, I always say new window, which means once they click on that link, it's going to open a new window for them to read the recipe book, and it won't take them away from the window that's got the email, their email window. I always do that. And you can bold it, you can make it italics, you can add some kind of like little things here to make it kind of stand out in the text. Or you have another option, which is more advanced, and we can add a button to download it. And all I'm doing here is adding 2 little text blocks that are going to be on either side of this button. So I'm just going to put that text back in here. I'm going to cut this, put it underneath. And then right here, I'll say, click here to access your recipe book. And of course, I don't remember that URL, but I have it here. No, I don't. Yes, I do. All right. I just click on this button, click this pink pencil. Here's the URL. Paste it right in there. And we're all done. And now we can take this out because we have a button. We don't need it. It wants me to save this. And now I can go on to the next page. This is important because we're adding a tag for our lead magnet. So what we're saying is anybody who fills in this form, add a tag. Make sure that I can identify in my leads list who has asked for this lead magnet. This is really good so you know where the majority of your leads are coming from. So I can go in and I can look at my tags. If I've got a different tag for each one of my lead magnets, I can see which one is performing the best. I can say, if I've got 50 new subscribers today and 40 of them got the recipe book and 10 came in through like something else, I can really focus my energy on promoting this lead magnet recipe book because people seem to really like it. It's really popular. Having this information, this data for analysis gives me a way to, take advantage of what's performing well. So now I'll assign a tag. Now, if I hadn't already done it, I can either pick a tag that I've already created, but let's assume I haven't created one. Right now I can do it. This is nice. I can do this right here. I can do it on the fly. There's a little tiny text underneath that says create new tag. And I just click that and I can say lead magnet recipe book. And this is just a way to categorize your tags. I usually just leave it blank. Okay, and then I add it. So now anybody who fills in this form will get this tag and this tag. Okay, and then I'm going to save it. I have the option here to add them to a list. Let's add them to. You always want to add everybody. Well, it depends on your strategy. Eventually, anybody who's in your leads list needs to be on your main subscriber list. I highly recommend just keeping everyone in a main subscriber list, and then you can kind of segment and send different emails to different groups based on sub-lists or tags. But for right now, we're just going to leave it as the tag. What I like to do is send people through a nurture sequence, which means they get the lead magnet, they get 3 or 4 emails after that. Once they complete that sequence, then I add them to my main subscriber list, because that main subscriber list is who gets my newsletters, who gets my promotional emails, and I don't want to bombard people who have just joined my list with all this other stuff because it's going to be too much, right? The nurture sequence is really important for introducing yourself and your brand to your new subscribers. And you really want to take this time, and you send these emails over about a week or 2 weeks, and you really just want to take your time, get them comfortable with you and your brand before you start selling them, or you start promoting anything to them or sending them newsletters. You don't want them to sign up, be overwhelmed with all your emails, and then unsubscribe. Okay, you don't want to do that. You want to kind of ease them into it. You want to nurture them and then add them to your subscriber list. So what I recommend doing, creating a sequence. Everyone who comes in gets your lead magnet, is entered into this sequence. They get 3 or 4 different emails. They nurtured. Once that sequence is done, then they're added, and that's part of the automation of the sequence, they're added to your subscriber list. Okay. So I'm going to say don't subscribe to any list right now. We're not going to do any sequences, but normally I would add them to the nurture sequence, but I'm just going to leave it here. Now this is where you're telling Kartra, where is this form going to go? Where is it going to live? So you're either going to embed it into a Kartra page, a calendar, a membership, somewhere. It's going to be in it's going to stay in Kartra. Or if you were going to take this and put it into a WordPress site, right? So if you still have a blog on WordPress, or you have a Squarespace site, or you have another website that's up and running, and you just use Kartra for your lead magnets and your sales funnels, you can just get this code. This will pop open another window. I'm not going to do it. But for the most part, I recommend creating your landing page in Kartra and just embedding this form into Kartra. So we'll click Save, and then we'll save next. And now it's telling me, congratulations, it's all done. But let's go back to the landing page. And this is how we embed that form. So this is the one we were working on. This is our landing page clone. Okay, so we're going to scroll down here. This is the form. So that's essentially what we just created, and this is how we embed it in the landing page. We're going to go to Edit, which is this orange pencil button right above it, and it's going to pop open this window. Now we can say from here, this is where we can pick the form that we want to embed. And I already forgot what it was called, but we'll just assume it was this one. And then this is where we can say, how do we want it to appear in the window? What do we want it to, the form to look like? Do we want the fields to have a gray background? Do we want them to have a white background? Do we want the fields to be black when they type it in? Do we want our text to be red? Do we want it to be blue? Do we want it to be boxed? Do we want it to be lines? That's kind of fun, except I don't think you can see it here. And then here's where you're going to format the button. Now, here's what's important about your form button. A lot of times the default will just say submit. And it's really important that you kind of jazz it up a little bit, make it a little bit more fun, give it a little personality, make it a little bit like, get them excited. So instead of just saying, have it say submit, yes, send it to me. I got to have it. I need this recipe book in my life. Like, make it something kind of fun and give it some personality. And you would just type that right in here in the button text. And this is where you can style the button. You can style the text, button shadow, the background color. You can even do some effects here if we wanted to slide, have the form be fun. You could do that. And we'll just hit apply. And then it'll be done. Okay, so then you'll have your landing page. Now this is important. We'll publish it live because we want it to be up on the internet. We want this, it'll be hosted on Kartra. This is where it's really important. You grab that page link, because this is the URL that you're going to be putting places to share with, on your social media. If you're going to put it in your, everywhere. All your social media bios should have the link to your lead magnet. You should put it on your website. This should be what you're linking to when people are like, hey, what kind of free stuff do you have for me? But have this handy, because if you have to go in and pull out the URL every time you need it, it's going to get old. Okay, so grab this URL, keep it handy. Now, if you have your custom domain set up in Kartra, you can make this say, like, I have my custom domain, so I could have this say, call it lauriemallon.com, free recipes, or just like recipe book, something I'm going to remember, and then I can hit close, and then hit this button to save it, close, publish it again because I can't remember, and that is it. Okay, so now we have our, let's see, we have our landing page, we have our confirmation page, we have our form, we have the actual document that they're going to download. Those are the main components of your lead magnet. And then part 2 is going to be, where do you promote this? How do I promote this? Now that I have a lead magnet that's all set up from top to bottom, beginning to end, you know, somebody's going to land on the page, they're going to read all of my copy, they're going to see the image. I've created that image in PowerPoint, and I put it in Canva, and I made it look nice, and added my logo and all this stuff. So I went through all this work. I made this awesome lead magnet. How am I going to use it to get people on my list, right? So part 2 of this will be promoting your lead magnet and growing the list, okay? And that is going to be a completely separate training. But for right now, this was just to cover creating the lead magnet. So just to do a quick recap and give you the checklist of everything you need to create your lead magnet to grow your list, you need some kind of a document, a PDF. We covered a PDF. Honestly, it doesn't have to be a PDF. It could be an audio file. It could be a video. It could be a call with you. It could be some kind of, it could be anything, okay? Don't limit yourself to a PDF, but a PDF is easy because it doesn't take any, it's just really simple to set up, as you just saw. So that requires you to have a way to host it. Again, Kartra, all my stuff is hosted in Kartra. It makes it easy to link up in the form and in the confirmation page, and they can just download it. So you'll need that, whatever that free gift is, you need to save it as a PDF, upload it to a hosted site. So again, that can be Kartra, that can be your WordPress site if you have that. It could also be something like Amazon AWS. You'll need pages. You need 2 pages. You need a confirmation page, which confirms that, yes, your email was received. Here's what you should do next. Here's what you can expect. If you want your recipe book, you can click here, join my Facebook group. Here's a little bit about me in case you missed it. You need your landing page. Now, the landing page is important because this is what sells, quote unquote, sells your lead magnet. Why should somebody download it? What is the pain point it addresses? Why would somebody need it? Well, how is it going to help them? How will it benefit them? If you don't know this, it's going to be a hard sell. So you really need to know your ideal client, and you need to know why somebody would be signing up for this lead magnet. I mean, as they're going along the internet and they come across your page, what is going to compel them to download it? Okay, there has to be some real benefit for them to have it that addresses a pain point. And again, make sure, I said this in the beginning, but I'm going to repeat it, make sure that this lead magnet logically leads into your paid program. So if you have a recipe book, but your paid program is like stress management or, you know, something else, it has nothing to do with really like diet or eating healthy, it's not really going to be a good, you know, your funnel is going to be a little disjointed. So make sure that that funnel, or that lead magnet directly correlates to your paid program in some way, or that you can kind of tie them together in some way. That's important. So we have the landing page now and the form again is what drives all the action, it connects that landing page to getting people in your email. And again, I use Kartra because everything can be hosted in Kartra. It's all connected. And not only that, if somebody goes from, I have my lead magnet, I have my nurture sequence, I can then funnel them into a paid product. Again, it's all integrated, it's all housed in one place, and it's seamless. And I really like that about Kartra. It makes my life very easy. So that's it for today for your lead magnet training, for putting together a document for someone to download, all the different pieces that you need to have in place. And then part 2 will be how to promote it, where to promote it, and how to actually use it to get people on your list. And I want to thank you for joining me for this training. And I will see you next time.